Welcome back for another video. Who are the best players to buy for Gameweek 7? We've got 6 game weeks of data now. We can kind of start to build a better picture of where the value is in FPL. And that is actually what FPL fundamentally is. It's a game of finding value. Where can we squeeze the most points per million spent? Easier said than done. Goalkeepers first then, and Arsenal have got a home fixture to Nuno's West Ham, which has got Raya top of the keepers for Gameweek 7. Newcastle were the number 1 defence and Arsenal were number 2 for expected goals conceded until they faced one another Sunday evening, and now it's flipped. Arsenal are on 3.9 XGC, which ranks best in the league after 6 games. 3 goals conceded is also joint fewest by Arsenal, same as Palace. 52 shots conceded ranks number 1 as well. If you're a Scout member, just search FPL Focal under public tables to view this table or my other ones. There's a link below to get 40% off, plus you can use the code FFSFocal5 to get an extra 5% off on top of that. If you've got the opportunity to make a goalkeeper transfer, or maybe you're on a wildcard, then Raya's number 1 this week. He's just miles ahead of the rest of the pack for the next 5. The fixture run is West Ham, Fulham, Palace, Burnley and Sunderland. Newcastle's fixtures look pretty solid as well, and Pope's in second place, and obviously he does offer that 0.5 mil saving, or 0.6 I think Raya's gone up. Pope's second on the table this week, with Newcastle playing home again against Forest this time, and then after that it's Brighton, Fulham, West Ham and Brentford. Nice fixture run. Livramento's injury is a big concern going off in the Arsenal game. If they're forced to play Trippier week in week out, it could be a major issue. I mean, Howe might have to resort to using a centre back and right back sometimes, or maybe even a formation change, like Murphy right wing back, if it is a bad knee injury for Livramento. Hopefully not. It's become clear early on that Petrovic is the best of the budget keepers, excluding Dubravka of course as a bench backup. Bournemouth's 5.45 expected goals conceded ranks 3rd best after 6 games. They're literally better than last season defensively, not worse, which is pretty incredible. Of course, Rovs is the top scoring goalkeeper, so he's worth a mention as well. He's on 39 points, that's 6.5 points per game. They've had some incredible fixtures though, and they're pretty mixed longer term. If you look at the next 10 game weeks, there's the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City and Newcastle. So for me, it's Petrovic or Raya if you're going for a keeper from this week. You go super cheap Petrovic or you go premium Raya. Jimenez went off injured last match, and Muniz wasn't in the squad for Fulham either, so if both strikers out, that could be good news for Bournemouth as well. Senesi, the top scoring defender in the game right now, and he's on the table again this week with 4.4 points. It's the Arsenal backline that tops the table: Gabriel, Calafiori, Saliba and then Timber. As annoying as the Saliba 1-pointer was, if you've got him, don't sell. Arteta said, Saliba's recovering from an ankle injury that he's trying to resolve, so we have to manage the squad. So he was evidently very close to starting, given that he did make the bench, came on at half time. I'm expecting him to start in Game Week 7. Timber looks by far the most explosive pick to me if you really want to push the upside and take the chance that he starts all games. It's very possible that right now he does start all the league games and White gets the starts in other comps. Gabriel header off the corner was the headline last match though. 13 pointer, having also hit DEFCON points and clinching 3 bonus. If you watch the expert series on this channel, there was a reason why the top all-time managers were backing Gabriel over Saliba. Villa have got Burnley home, which does have cash on the table, who of course has scored this season as well from right back, but their fixtures just aren't as good after this game week, so avoid him, unless you're looking for a 1-week punt perhaps. Some more DEFCON beasts here. Tarkowski and Lacroix are on 4.3 and 4.1 points. I've not officially announced this anywhere, but it is live. We're still making some little refinements, but another huge new feature we just added to the app is presets on the statistics widget. I'll cover it more in another video, but in a nutshell, you can load some presets in that I've set up myself for you. So for example, this is the DEFCON Beast preset. So which players are best for DEFCONs per 90? Which players have got the best DEFCON success percent, for example? So we've worked out how to measure both of those statistics here, and you can see the potential in its use. Like Senesi's on 13.5 DEFCONs per 90. He's in the number 1 spot. And then we've got Tarkowski, Van Dijk, Anderson and Alderete. It is actually live, as I say, but still making some tweaks, so it is there if you want to go and play around with it. There's a bunch of other presets to take a look at there as well. FPL Focal in the App Store or FPL.page in your browser. The longer term goal is we're going to add Opta-Data. It's basically for considerably more things to measure. So anyway, you could realistically go full DEFCON with your defence, especially if you're on a wildcard, plus Gabriel chucked in. So Gabriel, Tarkowski, Senesi, Anderson and Alderete. That's very well balanced. A few honourable mentions last season. A few defenders have just missed out making the table by 0.1, 0.2. Those names are Munoz, Vardy, Burn, Van Dijk and Richards. Let's take a look at the midfielders next, and it's Bruno on top for the Sunderland home game at Old Trafford. Fine margins, of course, desperately close to what would have been a double-digit return, if not for Kelleher saving his penalty. No one's missed more penalties in the league than Bruno since he made his debut. There is a little bit of a worry, like, could he lose penalties now? I actually think he'd still be a great asset, even if he was to lose them, but I think that's probably an unpopular take. Like, he is on corners, he's on free kicks, he's great for defcons when he's playing as a deeper line centre mid, he's great for goal involvement in cam. I've got no plans to sell for a while, whatever happens. Sometimes in FPL it really is just fine margins, and you've got to look at the decision making rather than the outcome. Like, had he scored those 2 pens he's missed this season, which given his historic pen record you would have expected him to do, then he's on 4 goals in 6 games, and that would make him second or third top midfielder in the game. So Saka's second. Is it time to buy Saka? He's lined up really nice this week. Like, he's played a couple of league games since coming back from injury. Arteta's eased him in. And with Madueke out injured for a while, we can be pretty confident that he's going to get good minutes going forward. And it's West Ham home next. He did have the ball in his hands after Gyökeres won the penalty, but my best guess is that he was going to hand the ball to Gyökeres right before he took it, which is what we see players doing a lot nowadays. It's a psychology trick, and the opponents, I guess, also don't know who to try and get in the head of before the penalty kick. In the end, the pen was overruled, so we'll never know. Salah just not representing 14.5 million, a blank last game week, and he's a whole 4.7 million more than Saka. We've got Palmer out injured as well, so I think Saka's a fantastic differential right now, and much better value than Salah. Perhaps the best differential in the game right now in terms of his ownership compared to his actual ceiling. He's 5.6% owned. A goal from a free kick last game for Semenyo as well. He just keeps raising the bar for himself and making himself increasingly hard to ignore. Kluivert got his first start of the season last match, so will he take the next penalty or does Semenyo keep them? It looked like Kluivert was saying, I'll have this free kick, but perhaps Semenyo is just the absolute top of the pecking order all round right now. I think it is possible Kluivert takes the next penalty, but I wouldn't ignore Semenyo for that reason alone. He might stay on them, and you know, Kluivert's not getting 90 minutes right now either way, so there could be that 20 or so minutes at the end of games as well, where even if Kluivert is the new taker, Semenyo's on them for the last 20 or so. A disappointing blank for Foden in a great fixture against Burnley last match, despite 5 goals scored by City, and of course, same for Reinders as well. Easy hold for the next couple of games though still, and Reinders even longer term in my opinion, since no one at Man City's got more minutes than him, and he is cheap, and he's got 3 goal involvements this season. 3.19 expected goal involvement from Mbeumo. He's been incredibly unfortunate just to have 1 return all season. It does sort of feel like a matter of time before Amarin's gone, doesn't it? And that could equate to Mbeumo, Bruno, Cunha all being incredible picks, maybe Sesko as well. Either way, keep all your Man United assets for this next fixture. Though Sunderland, in fairness, have been fantastic, but in my opinion that's a fixture you have to hold them for. Minte's on 4.3 projected points, not on the table, just misses out. I really like him for 5.9 mil. He's had a price drop as well, and he's returned in his last 3 games in a row, plus he's got Wolves next. He's played 90 minutes in 4 of the last 5 games as well. Enzo, very clearly a beneficiary to when Palmer's out in terms of his role and goal involvement, scoring last match, and he got a goal and an assist in both Game Week 2 and 3 without Palmer. He's on 4.2 projected points for next Game Week. Obviously there is that potential pen share factored into that as well. In terms of the super cheap mids, Stack leads among the cheap ones. He's on 4.1 points, Lefay 3.5, Ayari 3.3, Dewsbury Hall 3.2. On to the forwards next, and let's talk about João Pedro for a second, because over his last 3 league games he's taken a total of 1 shot which wasn't on target, 0.15 xg, only 0.08 expected assists, no big chances created for teammates. Is it time to sell? He's got Liverpool next. Context is key, and you're going to read all sorts of stats over the season, but it's important to always ask yourself, what's the context of these statistics? 2 of those 3 Chelsea games, they have been a man down. Now, it could continue, and he does keep putting up bad numbers, but it's too early to say. And Chelsea have got some unbelievable fixtures coming up after Liverpool. After that, they've got Forest as well, and we need to really readjust our sentiment towards Forest. They're a great fixture from an offensive perspective right now. Chelsea play them after Liverpool, and then they've got Sunderland, Spurs and Wolves. So it's Haaland that tops the table. Haaland's on 6.8 points for Game Week 7. Now, interestingly, Bruno was on exactly 6.8 as well. There is a concept in FPL Analytics called free risk. When two players on paper projected exactly the same points, then you have the option to back the lower owned one for the higher potential upside. Now, of course, you might have different opinions to what the projections say, but that's how it works. You're comparing two players on the same projected points, or maybe you don't pay attention to these and you might use something like goal scorer odds and you look at two players on the same projected goals. It's incredibly bold to go against Haaland right now though, let's be honest, and I won't be doing it myself. Gyökeres is second this week, he's on 6.1 points. Watkins 5.6. We finally found the back of the net last match after 5 blanks in a row, and of course a missed penalty as well, I think it was last midweek. Looking at the next 5 game week projections though, you can see why Haaland, Gyökeres and João Pedro has emerged as a somewhat template front three. Like Watkins just hasn't been doing it. Baltimore is showing potential. Evan Nilsson, Sesko, Mateta just haven't done much of note either. Now a brace for Thiago was notable and he's been good value for 6 mil, but he does have Man City next, so he doesn't make the table this week. And then there's Richarlison, who's a surprising exclusion really, but that's due to lower expected minutes. If I nudge him up to 75 minutes, that places him on 4.1 points at the bottom of the table for next game week. But the last 2 games he's actually played 90, so that's probably a bit harsh maybe. Let us know in the comments what your transfer plans are for Game Week 7. Thank you as always for watching. Hit subscribe for more FPL content coming this week to help you out. See you soon for the next one.